So, as promised, here's my second video for today. I was going to do it before my run, but figured I should probably give some of the products that I was going to be talking about a better test run before I actually suggest them to other people. It's cold today, very windy, so I went on my run. I'm a little tired now, but I got a little better feel of some things and a better idea of what layering I need to do for colder weather. I live in Minnesota, so obviously it's winter running and it gets a little interesting when it gets a little cold. So I'm gonna go through with some of the, this is just kind of this is what I have, this is what I use, this is what sometimes I add more or less, whatever. This is just basically what I have right now. I do have an outdoor overnight job, so a lot of this stuff I already had and I've just been adding to it, so that's kind of convenient and helpful. So I'm going to start with the feet and work my way up, and yeah, I hope this is helpful, I guess. Socks. One thing you're going to hear me say a lot in this video is wick away or duo dry layers. Those are going to be your friends every part of your body, more or less. Socks are no different. Thick, long socks are what I use. I found some nice ones at Target the other day. I'm still trying to find the best ones. I have a few that I've been trying. Haven't found the perfect ones yet, but feet, keeping them warm is good, which leads me to shoes. These are my regular running shoes, the ones I've been using. They're not winter appropriate, they don't have traction, they're really thin mesh on the top, so the wind cuts through them really easily and then my feet get cold and that's just not fun. So I have another pair which have more traction and are all wet because like I said, went on my run, and they're thicker. The wind does not cut through these as much. So these are my winter shoes. These are my spring, fall, summer shoes that are going to be put away for retirement for right now, which is sad days, but shoes are key, socks are key. Then leggings or pants, that area, compression tights, they will be your friend. I have a couple pairs of these. This is kind of like my first layer, along with, well, obviously underwear. All of my underwear to avoid cotton. I have all of it's the wick away, dual wick type material. Even these are my underwear. It's spandex. Cotton and running is not my friend, so start off with that, I guess. And then the compression pants. That's when it's not so cold but kind of cold. Today it was really cold, so obviously I added another layer, which are a little bit thicker but also compression. So I had these two on, but it was also really, really, really windy, and I was running around Lake Calhoun, and that's cold and wind coming off the water. So I also had another pair of running pants to help with the wind. Ultimately, I probably could have done 2 layers, but I'd rather have too many than not enough. So those are my options with pants. Ultimately, if it gets super cold, there's also sweatpants. So I mean, layers. Ultimately, I want to get over the whole fear of wearing tights because I see a lot of runners in them, but I've always had these pants over. Eventually, I'll get the balls, so to speak, to just do the tights, but I've got, like I said, a few layers, couple options for that. Then torso area, I personally always start with a compression tank top, but that's just kind of my thing every day anyway, whether I'm running or not, because I'm pre-op. So I've got a bunch of these, so that's my first layer. And then I do options of different base layers that I've accumulated throughout the years. They're all the wick away, duo dry, kind of like thermal without being thermal. I do at least one base layer, and then sometimes two. I mean, I like the first layer doesn't have a higher neck, but the second one definitely normally does. I have this kind that's got the zip up higher neck, or otherwise I have this kind over here that's just got the higher neck. So basically I have 2 to 3 other layers on top of this base layer, like, so 3 layers, right? It depends on how cold it is. That's how many layers I put on. There's no specific science. And then my outermost layer right now is this. It's a little bit thicker. It's got a little bit better lining, and it's also got thumb hole, and then these parts that flip over and help cover your hands as well. That I put on over the other base layers. And then, like today, it was super windy, so I had a hoodie that's got a higher, it's kind of like this one, it's got a higher neck and a hood. This isn't the one, but it's the same style. The one I had was the do-away, like the wick-away material as well, like this kind of material. I don't ultimately have a thick jacket that I approve of, or a heavy jacket. I have this one. It's a little big for me, but ultimately this is the kind of jacket I would recommend, is something that's not thick, that's got a good shell layer. But like I said, this one's a little big for me, so I'm not a fan of it quite yet. Looking for a better one. I also have a windbreaker. It's really thin, but if it's really windy or rainy, I'll throw that on. So yeah, those are kind of like my torso layers. I like to layer. It all depends on how many, what the temperature is that day. So then I'll go neck, which leads me to the product I got. In the mail, I ordered 5 of these face sleeves slash neck guards. I used it today. I approve. It's better than the neck guards I did have, which are fleece, but I mean, I do have those as backup, and this one even has a pouch that a hand warmer can go in. But even if you're wearing a high-collared shirt and a high-collared jacket, there's still enough gap and wind, and then you also want your face covered, because beard freeze is a little weird, not gonna lie. But neck guard. But I suggest face shields of some sorts. It can be worn as a face shield. It can come up over. It covers ears. It came in handy today, especially with the wind. I got 5 for $20. 5th one's missing. But yeah, I like them. With all face masks and having glasses, it's a little bit of a problem. I think eventually I'm going to get goggles. And here's my creeper of a cat. Eventually I'm going to get goggles and use those, and hopefully that'll help, and maybe they won't fog up, because it does get cold, and I've heard rumors that eyes do freeze shut, which is a little weird and scary to think of. So goggles are on my to-get list for the extreme winter days. So that's the neck. And then hands. I have a thin pair of gloves. I have small hands, so I actually had to go to the women's section and buy from there to get ones that fit, but they're just a thin layer. And then I have another pair that go on over if it's extra cold. And then head, I have the wick-away hat, and then I put a beanie on over it. I also have another hat that's got the same pouch for the hand warmer, so I can put that up on my head, or ultimately it folds down and it can be on the back of my neck to help keep me warm. So I mean, I have a box full of beanies, but this one's always on underneath because it helps take the sweat and wick it away and dry it faster, so I'm not all gross and nasty after a run. But yeah, that's kind of like what I have. I have a lot. Like I said, I work overnight, so I had a lot of this, and I've just been adding more to it as I've been preparing for more winter runs. But hope this was somewhat helpful, and yeah.